Almost all careers require some type of degree, right? Going to college is something that most people expect you to do right after graduating high school. A college degree can get you the job you always wanted or the income you always dreamed of. On the other hand, how is someone supposed to afford college? I believe colleges charge way too much for something you have to have in order to get somewhere in life. Being a college student means this is part of my stress daily. How can anyone be happy to graduate college when you owe so much back? As a college student, you have to pay for each credit, pay for all the fees of the school, and buy books that teachers require but may never even use. I believe if college is the only actual way to progress in life, then it should be a lot more affordable for us. As being college students yourself, you know what it's like to spend a bunch of money to go to school, and sometimes even work your butt off in classes that have nothing to do with the degree you are working towards. If you're like me, it frustrates me when teachers require multiple books. Then you get to class and you hardly ever use them. Books aren't something that are just pocket change. They cost a lot. Then if you try and sell them back to the school, they will only pay you half of what you bought them for. Colleges charge way too much. It's just plain and simple. Colleges need to lower their prices and give everyone a fair chance at obtaining an education. According to the College Board, the average cost of tuitions and fees for the 2015-2016 school year was $32,405 at private colleges, $9,410 for state residents at public colleges, and $23,893 for out-of-state residents attending public universities. Colleges charge by semester or quarter. I will describe the way they come up with these tuition fees. The College Board reports that the average cost of room and board in 2015-2016 ranged from $10,138 at a four-year school and $11,516 at a private school. So housing and meals is a big part of the tuition fee. Books and school supplies. Some colleges even include the cost of a computer and accessories for the computer. Also, some colleges even estimate expenses that they don't bill you for, including personal and transportation expenses, including local transportation, clothing, personal items, entertainment, and so on. Between 2002-2003 and 2012-2013, prices for undergraduate tuition, room, and board at public institutions rose 39%. And prices at a private nonprofit institution rose 27% after adjustment for inflation. According to National Center for Education Statistics, in the course of 35 years, college tuition has almost quadrupled. So what are some ways to afford going to college? The number one way students usually pay for their college tuition fees is through student loans. It's a great help, but having to repay all that debt back is really stressful. According to College Access and Success, 7 in 10 seniors, which is 69%, who graduated from public and nonprofit colleges in 2014 had student loan debt with an average of $28,950 per borrower. Also reporting that 2014 graduates had the highest student loan debt ever. Which makes me happy I didn't go to a four-year school right away because 2014 was supposed to be my graduation year. With that being said, it is more than obvious how ridiculous college tuition fees really are. Next option is scholarships. Scholarships are gifts. They don't need to be repaid. There are thousands of them, offered by schools, employers, individuals, private companies, nonprofits, communities, religious groups, and professional and social organizations. You have to be careful though. If you do get a scholarship offer, make sure it is legit and educate yourself to avoid getting scammed. Approximately 20,000 students each year, or roughly 3%, will receive a full ride scholarship that will cover all their costs. Regardless if students are the star of their football team or valedictorian, they should never bank on a full ride scholarship to cover their college expenses. In most cases, students will need to use a combination of federal aid, grants and loans, institutional awards, private scholarships, and cash to help cover all their costs, according to Unigo. Like mentioned, there's also financial aid out there. Pell Grants being the most popular, there are two types of financial aid, grants and loans. But in order to qualify for a grant, a student must demonstrate financial need. I believe this is the reason why a lot of high school graduates go straight into the workforce. Not to mention, they just spent 13 years of their life in school. Finally, the consequences graduates are dealing with after college is far more critical. The impact of student debt is real. Focus on how to get the student debts paid off. Students are spending years after college deleveraging rather than investing in the economy. Even more personal, as graduates start families of their own, their mindset starts to change. Some of us even teaching our own kids that college isn't necessary because of the traumatic experience and debt one is left with. It is more than overwhelming. Sometimes even asking oneself, was taking out this $50,000 loan really worth it? Especially if your degree isn't making you that ideal wage you were expecting. This could also cause the last generation of college goers. In conclusion, college expenses are getting out of hand. If something does not change, eventually college will be unaffordable except for the rich. After graduation, students have so much debt, they spend years paying it off, which in return almost feels like a punishment. If prices keep rising, our own kids or grandkids may not be able to go to school to do what they really want. Education is something that people fought for, so why let it keep getting out of control?